Hi, Billy. It's nice to see you. We're going to wait for a little bit and let people show up. I'm actually on my iPad today because I wanted to be able to read your comments, and I can't do that on my phone. Plus, I am at the beach, so, you know, we're just rolling with it, friends, rolling with it. So, I'm going to go over how I'm going to do things a little bit today. We're going to go over my works in progress. We're going to go over what I've purchased. Hi, Eileen. Hello. Or Aileen. I hope I said that right. So, if you can hear me, can someone just give me a sound check, please? Just say a comment that you can hear me. So, what I would like to do is go over my works in progress, go over what I've purchased. Hi, Becky. Go over, we're going to talk about the Sherwood sweater today that is going to be released this coming week. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hi, PJ Knits. Thank you. Oh, Nebraska. Good morning. Hi, Jillian. So, I am so excited to be able to chat with you all live. It has been a very long time. Hi, St. Louis, and I look so forward to chatting with you. So here's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about my whips, my purchases, my finished objects, and then at the end, then I'm going to answer questions. So if you have questions towards the end, save them, and I will answer them at the end, because what I've learned is when we republish this to YouTube, the comments don't, the scrolling comments don't show. And so I want to be able to read the questions and be able to answer them. So save your questions for the end. I love you all saying hello and that you're here. That is wonderful. And we will get right into it because there's people here. Hi, Liz. So it's been a great 2 weeks. Little update on my daughter, Marin. She is doing beautifully. It is 5 weeks today that she had her spinal fusion surgery. She actually drove to the beach, which is a little over an hour away from our home. Oh, thank you, Mary. And so she is doing great. She has, when she does a little too much, her body tells her to slow down a little bit. Hi, Laura. How are you? But she's doing great. So thank you all for your lovely comments. Also, if I don't get your questions whilst we are on the live, please put them in the comments below and I will answer them. I absolutely love to read your comments. Hi, everybody. Oh, it's so nice to see everybody. Hi, Marlena. Hello. So let's get talking. What did I purchase in these last 2 weeks? This is the great, amazing thing about social media, because I am going to be knitting that fisherman sweater, and I've had a couple questions what a fisherman sweater actually is. It's also called a cable knit sweater. And legend is in Ireland, they would wear them. And depending on the cable, that was the clan that you were from. And then if the fishermen were lost overboard, then they usually would be able to tell, because you are in the sea and things happen, when you pass away, that they would be able to tell if they found the body, they would be able to hand it back to the clan based on the sweater. Isn't that cool? Kind of morbid, but I am making that. So in the last one, hi Veronica, I said that I was making a cable knit sweater for my son's friend. And I was describing the yarn and showing you all the yarn that I bought. So if you missed that, go to the last podcast, number 3. Oh my gosh, Anne-Marie, thank you. Anne-Marie says, thank you so much for bringing happiness to people's lives. Thank you very much. You all give me as much happiness as I give out, so thank you. Can I turn a little? This way or this way? Or this way? Is that better? Good morning, Barbara. Okay, so are you seeing me enough, or are you just seeing like how pretty this bedroom is? Okay, so hi Lynn. So after that podcast, which is podcast 3, someone commented and said that she has been knitting fisherman sweaters for over 20 years, and that I did not have enough yarn. And so I was able to go back and order more yarn. So I did order more of that yarn. Thank you so much I forgot to look up her name. So I did purchase that. I don't know if any of you know this, but I'm a spinner and I love to spin yarn. And so one of my favorite people to purchase yarn from, not yarn, I'm going to show you what it is. It is Wound Up Fiber Arts, and I found her on Instagram. And so I bought 2 of these braids. This is Super Sock, and it is her merino and nylon, and the color is Yes Day. She updates her store, her online store, every Saturday. And just look at these colors. Thank you. We're going to talk about my sweater. Thank you. And we're going to talk about this yarn too. You guys are so on it for what I'm going to talk about. Is it too bright still? Because I can kind of move myself a little bit more, I guess. Away from the window, maybe. Well, hello, Ontario. My goodness. So anyway, I'm going to be spinning in the future. I have a lot of these. And I just love this color. It just kind of spoke to me. And I have no idea what I'm going to make. I probably won't make socks, but maybe I will. I like to pull down the shade. Mary, you are my... How we doing now? I need you here, Mary. I need you here. So here is the yarn. Oh, it makes my face dark. You know what, everybody? Can you tell this is like the first time I've done this? Let me move. You guys saw the ceiling. All right, I'm gonna move. Hang on. All right, let's see. All right. Better? Hi, Luann. Hi, West Coast. Boy, it's early for you. Okay, so I'm just going to keep talking. So, all right, so we talked about Wound Up Fiber Arts. And everything, once I get done with this, everything is going to go in the description box once I get there. Perfect. Hooray! Hooray, you can see me! Okay, Wound Up Fiber Arts. We talked about that. So now I'm going to talk about my whips. Sometimes I have some drinks in the evening, not sometimes, pretty much all the time. And I get on Instagram and I get on Ravelry and I just start signing up for test knits. And it looks like I'm in the middle of 3 right now, but I have plenty of time to finish them up. The first one I started and I posted on my Instagram. I posted a picture of it. It's for Isabell Kraemer, Lilu on Instagram, and it is for the Cardoon sweater. So I'm going to show you my progress. Here it is. Isn't it pretty? Oh my gosh. Look, it has color work on the bottom and it has color work on the top. And the yarns that I used for this are Hedgehog Tweety in the gray. So you can see all these pretty little flecks. Look how pretty. And I used, on Instagram, she is, shoot, I can't remember her name. I think I had it in here, hang on. And of course, I have to match my project bag to my whip. Do you guys do that? Do you match your project bags to your whips? I don't know, it's one of my things. This is a Pleistra bag. I love the purple one. And so, I think I took it out. Drat. I will put in the description box who it is. Pandy's Jewels. She's Nimruz on Oh, she is a lovely person. And she came, I went to a trunk show that she did at Do You Knit, and so I had bought this color, and it's called like Space Odyssey or something. But when you look at it, right, look at the different colors in it. Isn't it? It's so pretty that I can't even show how beautiful it is, but hopefully you guys can see how pretty it is. So this is long sleeve. There is a color work also on the bottom of the sleeve, and so far I am absolutely loving this knit. I'm also using Knitting Barber. Boy, are these a game changer. I absolutely love these, and I know I just saw the Knitting Place. They just got these in, so go ahead and check them out. And I think the Traveling Yarn Yogi, she might be out, but she also has them as well. So check that out. So this is my current whip, but I'm also working on something else. So I have another whip to show you, but that's going to be part of like the little learning bit that I tell you about. So I also have a finished object. Last podcast, I talked about a really quick shawl pattern that I did. Oh, thank you, Liz. Woolly & Company has them as well. So check if they're your local stores, please go to them. If not, I will put all the information. Yeah, Luann. Yeah, I love Angie. She's awesome. So this is a shawl that I did for Tiff Nealon, and this is actually it's like a club for a verb for keeping warm out in San Francisco. So if you're part of the club, you get this pattern first. Tiff is going to once she gets the rights back in October, she's going to relaunch it. But it is really pretty. And I also forget the name, but it's like perennial garden shawl. But here's mine. Now I also have this on my Ravelry if you wanted to check on my Ravelry how I did it. But this is sport weight. I used for my main color, I used Sugar Plum Circus. And for my contrast color, I used Spin Cycle and Truth Bomb. I had 2 skeins of Truth Bomb that were like so bright and amazing. So I used only 2 colors. The pattern actually calls for 1 main and 2 contrasting colors. So here it is. Isn't it cool? I loved it. I love it. So this was finished. It will be re-released in October. So sadly, if you don't have that, if you're not part of that club, but go check out A Verb for Keeping Warm. They have the coolest stuff, and I love her Instagram, and they're out in San Francisco. You guys, hi ladies. It's so nice to see you, Dinah and Pam. Woohoo! So here is a finished object. The other finished object I'm going to talk about is what I'm wearing. This is it's my sweater that I designed for my 50th birthday, and it's called Knit a Rainbow. By the way, thank you for all the love on my new logo. I was so excited when I came across. So this is what I did. Thank you, Becky. Thank you. So this color, all right, good. I'm glad. Becky is saying that the color is beautiful on me. Thank you so much. I forget the name of the color. You love the logo. Yay! So I talked with Alyssa from Cake Wool. This is Cake Wool in the color dough, in the yarn dough. Thank you, Marilyn. Marilyn's happy to see me. This is in her DK. It's dough. And Knit a Rainbow is the pattern. And what I just recently did, if you follow me on Instagram, is I made a short sleeve version. And the short sleeve version, let me tell you, I was sitting all right, this is gonna sound obnoxious, but I was sitting by the pool and I was knitting, and I was so like, you know how sometimes you do something and you're just like, I was so proud of myself. Well, that was this. So the short sleeve, what happens is when you have a raglan line, you have a lot of stitches, right, coming around your sleeve, but you also have stitches that you pick up underneath. So I had all of this fabric and not a lot of time in order to make it a short sleeve, right? So if I kept decreasing or I did 2 rounds of a severe decreasing, that might be nice too. But what I came up with was this little pleat. So here's the pleat. And I actually, if you purchased the Knit Rainbow pattern with the long sleeves, I added the color. I added the instructions to the original pattern. If you already purchased the original pattern, you got an update in your Ravelry library, or you were sent an email, and then all the new, it's on there. If you have any questions about how to do the pleat, thank you. If you have any questions on how to do this, I made a little video that is just a hyperlink in the pattern. I know, I felt very, very proud of myself that I put that in there. So you'll be able to see me working on, isn't it great? I love it. So I don't know if you can see, let me stand up. So this is the Knit a Rainbow sweater. It is it's a raglan. So there's 4 points where you are increasing. It is top down. There's this cute little slip stitch pattern along the neck. And here's the little sleeve. Here's the short sleeve. Squeak. Okay. So have fun with that. And I'm so excited about that. Also, I talked with Alyssa, and she is, if you go on cakewool.com, which is her website, she has a pre-order up for this exact color. So if you love the color and you think it'll look beautiful on you, or if you wanted to make a sweater for somebody else, then this color is available for pre-order. I think it's called Plumeria. I think that's wrong. I don't know what the name is. But if you go on cakewool.com, Alyssa has put up the pre-order for this. I knit the size 48 and I needed 4 skeins of the dough, but this exact color she's putting up. I was so excited. It's so wonderful to work with people that are willing to go out on a limb and work with you. So Alyssa, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And also the ladies at the knitting place carry cake wool, so you can call them and hopefully they have some DK. And also if you wanted to make this in any other yarn, the original pattern is in a slub and a fingering held together. So that's the original pattern. This is a DK held singly. And like I really like to say that patterns are like recipes where you can change anything that you want. So on this one, I actually changed, so on the original pattern, there's only 4 rows of this neck treatment. And I did 6 or 8 on this one because I wanted it to be bigger. So, if on your recipe, fingering and mohair, would that work? Yes, Veronica, fingering and mohair, when you add those 2 together, then you get DK. Fingering and mohair equal DK. Also, fingering and that slub equal DK as well. So you can either do a regular DK yarn. I know the ladies at the knitting place are really great at subbing yarns to fit your budget. And so that is another thing. There's wonderful DK yarns out there. And I saw this morning on my phone that Webb's is having a sale. So if that's part of your budget as well, go to Webb's and get a DK yarn and then purchase Knit a Rainbow if you were so inclined, and you have 2 sleeve options. So you could even, this is cool, you could make like a fancy schmancy one, and then you could make one that is in yarn that is more budget friendly. Or if you're new to knitting, right, and and not even new to knitting, new to sweater knitting, new to top down knitting, then you can absolutely buy a yarn that is DK weight, right? And make it in that. And then once you're used to doing it, then you can use yarn that is a little bit more luxurious for you. Make knitting fun, friends. Knitting is not supposed to be, well, sometimes it can be stressful. I remember being stressed when I was doing knitting, but knitting is supposed to bring us together, to be happy, and to have something at the end, right? Have this story. So my mother was not a knitter or crocheter. She was a crafter, but she was not. She did not knit or crochet. But her mother, my grandmother, did. And so my grandmother passed away when I was 10. And oh my gosh, Becky, wonderful. Thank you. Becky just ordered it. So when I was 10, my grandmother passed away. And she had these, they're just kind of, I guess you would call them lap blankets. They weren't really shawls, but they were shawl-ish when I was 10, right? Because I was little. And I remember coming home from school, middle school. Isn't that a fun time? And I had had a really, really bad day. And my mom said, you know, how was your day? And I said, my day was, you know, I'm really sad. I had a bad day, or I was crying or something like that. And my mom said, I think you need a hug from Baba. And that's what we used to call my grandmother. And she went into the place where she kept them, and she took it out and she put it on me. And so whenever anybody had, you know, troubles or they were sad, my mother would say, I think you need a hug from Baba. And she would go and get one of these things that my grandmother made. And I guess my whole point is, my grandmother was in every single one of those stitches. She was sitting down, she was with yarn, and she was making something for someone else. And I don't really think there's any better gift than to receive something that was handmade by someone else, whether it's food, which I really like too, or whether it's yarn, you know, a yarny thing, knit or crochet or weaved or spun or whatever it is. I don't think there's any greater gift, because you're giving of your time and you're giving of yourself and your talent. And I know for me, when I'm making something for someone, you know, I put a lot of love and good energy into what I'm making, and that energy, right? I'm getting science on you. It never goes away, right? So no matter, my grandmother was gone for 20 years, I still sometimes needed a hug. I still went and grabbed, you know, one of those shawls. And so I want you to think about how special you all are by being crafters and knitters and crocheters and giving of your gift out there, because you're giving yourself, and there isn't anything better. Okay. Let's talk about the Sherwood Sweater. So the Sherwood Sweater is I think it's one of my favorite types of sweaters to make. This one is bottom up, so you're going to be working from the bottom up. It has color work on it, but I have a surprise for all of you, and I just want to show you. It's a whip, but I wanted to show you how you can change things so that it would work for you. So you're going to knit it in the round up until the armhole split. Then you're going to work back and forth on the back. You're going to work back and forth on the front, and then you're going to join them at the shoulders. Then you're going to pick up stitches around the sleeve and knit down. There's a wee little bit of color work at the, it's 3/4 sleeve. So you can do that or not. So let me show you. Everyone has seen this. The testers are, they're sending in their versions, and my heart is like, it's so exciting. So this is in Polka Dot Sheep. This is in their DK. I don't know if you guys know, but DK is totally my jam. It's quick. The stitch definitions are amazing. And you get something that, for a little less time than, fingering weight, right? And even the Cardoon sweater, that's DK weight too. So here is the Sherwood sweater. Here's the bottom. Now the bottom, this is Spin Cycle. This is in their Dream State, so it's the thicker one. Not dyed in the wool is the thinner one, and this is in Dream State. Now, You don't have to use spin cycle. You can use a solid color. Some of the testers used solid colors, and you can get this. Yay! So here is, look at how cool this treatment is. This is the cast on. You know, do you ever look at things besides your children and say, I can't believe I made that? I do. So here we go. So you're going to knit up until it's a V-neck. I'm a big fan of V-necks. And so here's the V-neck. And then here is the sleeve. And here's this wee little thing. So this is going to be released August 1st, and it is going to be either August 1st or August 2nd, okay? I'm in vacation mode and I have some things that I have to do. But so here it is, and I absolutely love the way this looks. This is also called a modified drop shoulder. So if you look here, you see how we have this is a raglan, right? So this is a diagonal line from your neck down to under your arm. This is a modified drop shoulder. So see how this one is a straight line, all right? And the reason why it's modified is it dips in a little bit. A regular drop shoulder would come out a little bit further. So this has a little less fabric under your arms. So that's why I love this shape to wear, and it goes with everything. You can wear this with white, I'm going to say slacks. I mean, people don't like that word slacks, but I'm saying it. With white slacks, or you could, this is, I would say, okay, Liz, that's a great question. Liz asks if it's a beginner or intermediate pattern. And my answer to this always is, if you want to knit it, it is a pattern that you will be able to do, right? We all think that we can't do things. You can, you absolutely can. You love V-necks, but so many designers make them too deep. Well, you can. You don't see any of the girls when I wear this. And you'll see the regular modeled shots in in a couple days when the pattern is released. But the great thing about this is you can wear it without anything underneath because the yarn is so amazing from Polka Dot Sheep, or you can wear something underneath. It's not too, yeah, thanks, Angela. So here it is. Now, here's the whip and the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. So, patterns are like recipes, right? You don't like nuts in your banana bread? Don't put nuts in your banana bread. If you're a brand new knitter and you don't know how to do color work, or color work isn't your jam and you don't like to do it, I'm so excited. Ready? I just started making another one in a variegated yarn. Yay! Thank you. This is Moondrake. This is her DK, and I started this one. I wanted to leave the sleeves, and I'll tell you why, because this is where you're going to learn a little something. When I'm going to stand up, when you're working with small batches and hand-dyed yarn, everything can't look exactly the same. And I alluded to this in another podcast. And what I like to do is I like to buy that extra skein just in case. And if I don't use it, make it for a hat. So the other thing that I like to do is I wind all of my balls, and I wind all of my balls of yarn, cakes, let's say cakes. I wind all of my cakes of yarn and I lay them out. Now, when you see them in the hank, they look a little bit different than they look when they're all caked up or balled up. So here is, when I laid them out for this sweater, I had five of them. 2 of them were lighter colors, not as deep in the pink. 2 were deeper colored and 1 was like strikingly deep. And the reason why that happens is it depends on where they are in the dye pot. It depends on, you know, how long, if, you know, it just, sometimes dyers will take yarn out and put yarn in. And so it's like the leftover, which is, makes things absolutely spectacular, a little muted. So I'm going to show you here. This is the one that was really bright. Look how bright that is. Do you see? And then this one was more muted. Now I had to ball this up because it got all focached, and I don't have all my gear here at the beach. So do you see how this one's a lot lighter? So this was the extreme dark one, and this one was the extreme light one. I have 2 of them. And then I had 2 that were in the middle. So this is what I did for this one. I'm going to hold it up and you guys are going to notice. I took the 4 yarns. 2 were light, 2 were medium, 1 was dark. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to use the mediums in the same exact spot, right, for the front and the back. And then I'm going to use the lighter for the top, and I'm going to use this, the really deep one, to cast on, for the neck treatment. And if I run out of yarn, I will use this at the bottom of my sleeves for however long it is. And let me show you. So now that I've described it, now you guys can see. Ready? So here's the top. I'm going to stand up now. Now, look at the bottom. Do you see how the bottom has a lot more saturation of color, right? And then the top, see how it all looks uniform, but see how up here there isn't as much pink. But, and I'm going to turn it around so you can see the back. It all looks good. It looks like it was supposed to do that, right? So here's the back. Isn't it pretty? This is by Moondrake, this yarn. Yay! So that's what I do. That's what I do when I'm working with indie dyers hand-dyed yarn, because every single skein is different, and that's the fun of it, right? The fun of it is that, well, I'll tell you what though, Cake Wool, hers are like, I don't have to do any helix knitting or having to do anything from that, because her yarns are very, every yarn that I have used has looked very uniform, where I haven't had to see. Here, I'll stand up and show you. See, there's lots of different skeins in here. There's 4 different skeins. So here we go. It looks like X's. I know, isn't that cool, Rachel? I just think it's here. She's talking about these. Okay, so I hope that helped with how to work with, oh, okay. So obviously, well, maybe not obviously, when you're working on the bottom here, when you're working down here, you're going to be using a lot more yarn than when you're working, you know, when you have the V and when you cut in for the sleeves. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is for the front and the back, I have these 2. See how similar they look? And you'll be able to tell whether you ball them or whether you cake them. Okay, so one I used for the front, one I used for the back. So now what I'm going to do is, because this is light here, right? It's really light up here. I'm going to start my sleeves with this yarn, right? So I'm going to start each sleeve with this yarn so that it's going to be matchy. It's going to look much similar, much more similar than if I were to start with a dark color. So using these until I run out. When I run out, then I will use the darker color, because that's what I have left. And, you know, which is really cool, this part, because of where the sleeve ends up, this part, which ends up here, is going to be closer to the darker colors. And whatever I have left over becomes a hat. Put a really cool green pom-pom on this and stick it in your reserve. And then you have one less gift to do during holiday time. Or if your kid is like, oh, so-and-so's mom really likes your stuff, please make her something, then you can. Okay, that is what I have for you today. Someone just asked a question about fingering and slub. That is, thank you. So that is for, the fingering and slub is for a different pattern, which is already released, and that is the Knit a Rainbow sweater, which I'm wearing right now, but I'm not wearing it in slub and fingering. I'm wearing it in just DK. In fact, the original Knit a Rainbow sweater, I gave to my sister, which happens a lot. I mean, I have a lot of sweaters. And someone asked me if I wore them all the time, and I do, I do wear them a lot, but I'm starting to get to the point where I have a whole lot of sweaters. So I'm thinking about having, I don't know, some kind of sale or something, with sweaters that I haven't done. So does anybody have any questions? Crickets. I'm going to take a sip. Questions, comments? I can show you the Knit a Rainbow, the actual Knit a Rainbow sweater if you'd like. This is the one, isn't that funny? I don't really have, well, here's the long sleeve version. This is the long sleeve. This is on the, and the cool thing is, will I design more V-necks and keep them not so deep? Okay, I will try. Also, another great thing to do, Becky. Oh, thank you, Billy. Another thing that you can do is you can, if you don't like your V-neck so deep, you can knit higher and start your V-neck higher. Instead of, like, let's say it says to knit for, all right, so let's talk about this. Let's say your V-neck is going to be super deep. What you would have to do, you know what? It does not have yardage for short sleeve. Oh, I forgot to do that. I will absolutely update that when I can. But they're top down. What's top down? The V-neck? So if your do you alternate skeins for D-neck? Ooh, you guys are fast. I tested your Knit a Rainbow, the one in green. Oh, thank you, Rachel. So if your V-neck is top down, that's even easier. You simply join closer, sooner than when the designer is telling you to. Teach us to turn a crew to a V-neck. You know what? Hello, Creative Blessing. That would be a technique video that I would do, and then I would edit it and show you how to do that. And I'm happy to do that. I'm making a list so that I don't run out of content for all of you. Crew to a boat neck. Yeah. These are all, now, here's a great idea. Look on Ravelry. Find a sweater. Oh. Find a sweater that you like that is a crew neck. And then you find a sweater that you like that's a V-neck. And then you find a sweater that you like that is a boat neck. And you can join things together, right? You can do, a V-neck version of Knit Rainbow if you wanted. And it's by taking, make sure if you're going to knit top down, make sure all the patterns are top down, and kind of like take little bits of each pattern. If you have the same gauge and you're knitting the same size, it should work, right? You could start with this, which is a crew neck. My crew necks tend to be bigger because I don't really like things up high on my neck. If you like this crew neck, right? And then you wanted to do, Well, if it was a crew neck and you wanted it to be a V-neck, then you would knit the pattern as written, but you would knit it back and forth, and then you would join it. And the reason why you would know it would be knit back and forth is because you would already have a pattern that is a top-down V-neck, and you would know that that's the way that you do it. Just plugging in the numbers for this sweater. I had another thought, and it escaped me. Can't remember. Can you do a tutorial on how to resize patterns? I'm a 34. Oh, Luann, what is the first size for, oh, that was my other thought. Thank you. Is the first size for Knit a Rainbow like a 36 or a 32 or I don't, well, I happen to know the designer. I guess I can look it up. Yeah, perfect. See, you can find other patterns that have your sizes and you can do that. Now, if Knit a Rainbow starts at 32 and you're a 34, I would always do, you know, so I probably did 32, 36. So I would do the 36 because then you would have, or if you're a 34, I would do the 36 because then you would have 2 inches of ease. So it wouldn't be super tight on you. My other thing is, let's say, and I get this question a lot, where the neck is too big, right? And they want the neck smaller. The way to do that, let's say you are a 30, let's say you're a 34, let's use that number, and you want it smaller. Cast on the number for 30, there's 2 ways you can do it. Cast on the number for 32, and then on this first row, you're going to increase your stitches evenly around so that you get to the 34 or the 36 number. I hope that made sense. The other thing you can do is cast on with much smaller needles than what the designer tells you. So if this is knit with size 8 needles and this is size 6, cast on with a 4 or a 3, and your stitches will automatically be smaller, which will tighten up the neck. I hope that helps. Anything else? I'll take another sip. It's kind of an overcast day here at the beach, so it's kind of nice that I get to come in here and chat with you all. If not, this is coming up on 45 minutes. I would like to not spit in front of everybody. I would like to thank you all for joining me and for supporting me on this new journey of mine. And did I have much left over did I have much left over of this yarn? Not really. What was the cake wool color? Mary, there's a picture actually of the picture of this on cake wools. I don't remember the name of the color. The pre-order is up on cakewool.com, and you'll see the picture of this. You'll know that that's the correct color. I definitely used 4. I used 4 for this, and I didn't really have that much left over. I did buy 5 skeins, and so I have 1 extra skein left. But I would finished my color work row, so now going to pre-order. Wonderful. So the Sherwood, one last thing. If you've made it this far, I totally appreciate it. The Sherwood Sweater is named after the Sherwood Hotel in Greene, New York, which is in Oneonta County. No, it's in Shenango County, which is about a half an hour outside of Binghamton, New York. My great-grandfather, it has my name on the pre-orders. Yay! Spent some dough on dough. Oh, Lynn. My great-grandfather owned the Sherwood Hotel, and my parents grew up on Shenango Street, across the street from each other. That's how they met. And so it's in a little town called Greene, New York. So my sister was the one that named the sweater because it was in Greene, and Greene, New York. And I like to name things after my family so that I can tell the stories about my family so that people don't forget. because every person's story is important. And so I hope that you share your stories through your knitting and your crafting and actually through your everyday life. Because when we're not here anymore, it's the stories that continue. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Please leave comments, and in a bit, I will put everything in the description box. So thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.